Hey everybody, the chosen individual here on another video. Now today's topic isn't really going to be centered around HBM's nuclear tech mod. I mean, it kind of is, but kind of isn't. I just wanted to make this as a kind of curious video to see what you guys thought about it. So I saw this well, I was a long time. For a long time. I was looking for a nuclear reactor mod that was realistic enough, but that was also understandable enough for me to play. It was just for fun. It was before I even started YouTube, and before I found HBM's nuclear tech mod, I found a mod called Big Reactors. Yes, Big Reactors. So, okay, great. And today we're going to be taking a look at that mod. So this is kind of a mod spotlight video, if you want to call it that. But hey, I mean, like, not really. Yeah, I just wanted to make this for fun. So we got a couple things added in this mod: are reactors and turbines. So to build your first reactor is pretty straightforward. Just build the bomb like this. It has to be all made out of reactor casing, which you can make with one graphite bar, a yellorium ingot, which is actually radioactive, and some iron ingots. Oh, maybe it's because of non-items. Okay. So to do that, and then I just realized I forgot that the yellorium fuel rod. Oh shoot, the yellorium fuel rod. So yeah, this mod is centered around yellorium. Bam. So basically, that is what's going to give us power. So now you can build it as high as you want. It has a limit of 3x3 minimum. And for maximum, I can't quite remember what it was, so you'll have to bear with me on that one. You'll also need a reactor controller, which you can make with diamond, uranium ingot, 4 reactor casings, and 1 redstone. Just place it there. There we go. You'll also need a reactor access port, which you can craft with a chest, a piston, and 4 reactor casings. And just, well, continue building up. Oh, yeah, you might want 2 access ports, one set to inlet mode and one set to outlet mode, although only one is specifically required. Also, make sure to put to raise a yellorium fuel rod. Then just place a control rod on top of the yellorium fuel rod. All the rods need to be pointing, all the way until the ceiling, and they must have a control rod on top of them. So yeah, I'll just finish this up, and you'll see that our reactor is now done. It will turn into a multi-block, and if you open up the GUI, you'll see a couple things. First of all, you'll see the core fuel status, which is how much fuel there is in the reactor, the casing heat, which is pretty self-explanatory, the core heat, and the energy buffer. Now, these reactors can produce quite a lot of power, and with the RF to HE converter, since I think these reactors don't explode, it can be a nice alternative for your HBM's nuclear tech mod server if you're not quite sure you can handle the actual reactors like the RBMK, fusion, Zernox, and normal reactor, whatever. If you are not confident, then, well, these reactors don't explode, and you can convert the RF to HE, which will also give you power. Now you'll also need a power tap. There we go. Just place it there. And this reactor that we're currently building is a... I also need some yellorium. It's somewhere. There it is. So, you also need some yellorium. Just place it there, and you'll see that this rod will automatically fill up, and we now have full fuel. Now, there are other things you can put into your reactor, like, for example, water as a coolant. Or, water, I think, also destabilized redstone. Cryo something, I can't remember the name. Gelid cryothium, ender, resonant ender, you know, things like that. It increases the core to casing heat conversion, which is essential for actively cooled reactors. But for passively cooled reactors, it's not that big of a problem. So let's get some flux ducts. There we go. As you can see, it connects. I'm also going to grab a spark energy storage and some red copper cables, just to show you how it would be to transform the output of this reactor from RF to HE. So yeah. So first of all, extend the couple, then have your RF to HE converter. Then just extend some red copper cables, and finally your energy storage block. So now in theory we should be good to begin. Let's turn this thing on. Yep, as you can see, core heat rapidly rises. Casing heat starts slowly rising. And I think, yep, look, we're getting 2.8 kilo HEs per second. So I think that's about as good as... So this is a very basic reactor. We'll obviously take a look at the turbine stuff. I don't know. This video is gonna be a little long, but don't worry, it'll be all very easy to understand. I'll put chapters in the description if you want to check that out. But this is the very basic passively cooled reactor. Okay. So yeah, that's the basic of building a reactor in this mod. You can leave it running, and as long as it still has fuel in it, I think, yeah, waste inside the reactor will be automatically ejected. Now, let's quickly try another thing before we move on to the, oh man, that's that. Before we move on to the actively cooled reactor, let's turn it off. Let's turn it off to avoid any sort of destruction. You can also see the flux per tick here. You don't necessarily have to go look on your energy grid. It just tells you automatically. So I'm going to put some gelid cryothium in the inside. Now you can also put water and other fluids. Actually, just because gelid cryothium is pretty expensive, you need some cryothium dust on a magma crucible. You need some bliss powder, redstone, a snowball, and some niter. And you craft that with a bliss rod or with destabilized redstone. Yeah. So for this example, I'm going to grab some water, since, well, it's probably going to be the very first coolant you're going to use in your reactor. Just make sure it surrounds the fuel rod. Fill that back up. And now if we turn our reactor on again, you will see that the conversion of core heat to casing heat will be slightly higher, I think. Let me just... I'm pretty sure. I'm gonna use the gelid cryothium, as I just said. I think the difference with water is like minimal, so yeah. Okay, there we go. Now just wait until the water vacates the core chamber, and now start filling this out with jelly corals here. Now it is to be noted that I think jelly coralcium is the best coolant you can use in your reactor. But as you can see, you'll need quite a bit, and as I said, it's expensive to produce, so yeah, it's really up to you. Where's the exit? I've lost the exit. Oh well, let's just break out here. As you can see, also snow will form on anything that touches. So now if we activate our reactor, as you see, core heat and casing heat are more on the and if casing heat increases, then you get more energy output. So yeah, that's the basics. Now let's go onto the actively cooled reactor, which is slightly different, but don't worry, I will explain everything. So you'll need the crescent hammer. You need a crescent hammer, and a reactor coolant port, which you can make with a bucket, 2 iron ingots, 4 reactor casings, and 1 piston. And that's all you'll need extra. Well, and some stuff. So I'm gonna make this reactor slightly larger, not too big. Make this reactor slightly bigger, and well, this reactor produces more energy. So let's get the reactor controller. Depending on the size of your reactor, you'll need to use more coolant ports. And if you right-click the coolant port with the crescent hammer, they become steam outlets. So if you think about it, this is kind of like a reactor for HBM, but slightly different. So yeah, I'm gonna make this taller. I don't know if you can hear the rain in the background, but it's raining pretty hard. You don't have to cover the sides with glass. You can just do it with the normal reactor casing. I'm just doing it so you can actually see what's going on the inside, you know? Also, yeah, you can do that. Just build up the walls. Realize I made a mistake. Finish making these reactor casing. There we go. And now for the fuel rods. It is very important that you place them next to each other, because that will reduce fuel burnup. Apparently, like I heard that a long time ago when I was still kind of exploring this, but I'm not entirely sure. Oh, and also before you seal your reactor, fill it up with a coolant. I'm gonna use jelly coralcium again. Now I think there's a mod that has these things called floodgates, which help you input these liquids a lot faster, but I can't remember which one it is, and I don't know if I have it installed, so yeah, I'm just gonna do this the old-fashioned way. As you can see, it takes a really long time, but it's worth it. It will massively ramp up your energy output if you need it. And also, instead of behaving like water, this fluid behaves a little more strangely. You see, you have to click it multiple times to fill up. Okay, there we go. There are casings. Okay, as you can see, oh, nothing. And as you can see, if we go over to our controller, now instead of energy output, we get you get hot fluid tank. Superheated coolant will come into this tank and must be piped out via coolant ports. So let's grab a fluid duct. Okay, there we go. I'm gonna use Aqua's accumulator because why not? I need to put it in a pool of water for it to actually work. So go over to here and make about a small pool of water. You don't need it to be super big. For big reactors, you're gonna need much bigger coolant pools, water pools. But for this one, it's not gonna be that much. Okay, so that's the water. I just realized I missed something. Oh, there we go. And now just place your Aqua's accumulators. As you can see, they'll start making noise. And that means that they are collecting water. So now link these up, and you will see water will start to come out. Whoops. And if we go over to our controller, you see that our water tank is now full. So yeah, let's also grab the Yellorium. I think you can only use Yellorium in these reactors, but I'm not entirely sure. There we go. You can't even really see the fuel rods because of the crossium, but if you go over here, it should confirm that the fuse is complete. So now we need to grab some turbine stuff. Just get rid of all these things that you don't need. You need turbine glass, turbine housing, turbine controller, turbine power port, turbine fluid port, turbine rotor bearing, rotor shaft, rotor blade, and that's it. Yeah, that's it. Now, since this video is already pretty long, I think I'm gonna leave the turbine setup for a part 2. So if you guys enjoyed this little curiosity video that I made, please leave a thumbs up and leave a like and subscribe, and let me know down in the comments if you actually enjoyed it. And if you did, then a part 2 will come out where I'll explain the turbines and how they work. But if not, then this will just be a random video because I ran out of ideas for HBM. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace out, gamers. Yeah, I really like this mod because it's kind of cool. Anyway, see ya.